evening, everybody. This is a fascinating subject. We now ask ask Arun and Partha, who are actually speaking for the motion, and Ashok and Zareen, who are speaking against the motion, to come up to the stage, and we would begin this debate.
Is Rupert Murdoch here by any chance? No, right? I mean, we could have ended the debate here. I'd have just asked him, sir, could you please tell us a little about MySpace, your first ever venture on social content platform? I don't think that group has never burned their finger any stronger outside that. Social media business model is about advertising. Now, this is one thing I understand. I have done advertising for many years. So let me tell you something. All this while, all these people came and told us that, social media is about deep engagement. People get so engaged that they don't know what's happening outside. And therefore, the business model is interruption. Let's take 3 companies. And I will talk about their market cap and I'll talk about their revenue. Again, loosely speaking, Apple, 500 billion, revenue, 156 billion. Technology company. Google, 300 billion, 31 billion. Facebook, 84 billion, market cap, 1.8 billion revenue. So, if you have to define bubble, I think this would be the fundamental dimensions on which you can define bubble. So, yeah, it may make sense for venture capitalists. It may make sense for burning investor money, but I really don't know whether it makes sense for fundamental business, which is you put in money and people will give you money back. The day social media can charge for content, the day social media can charge for, being a part of community, being a member of something, that day we'll understand that yes, there's a very, very robust business model. And before I end, I want to quote a very famous quote from Williams, Dorsey and Stone. You know who they are. They started Twitter. So they said one day, we have had a little bit of flack over the years about not having a business model. As much as we would like to be able to tell people to shut up, money is important. Oh, thank you, really, money is important. It takes a lot of money to run Twitter, and there has to be someday a solid revenue model underneath it all. Twitter is searching it. Many other social media will keep searching it. I think at the end of the day, social media business model would be summed up with one very old advertising line, which is called "Dhoondte reh jaoge."
If I wear my investor hat or investment banker's hat, what do I define as a good or amazingly good business? It needs to reward stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Customers, employees, investors, entrepreneurs, and the ecosystem, the society and government at large. So if you look at customers, 1.1 billion customers in 9 years, 3,000 days you've acquired 1.1 billion customers. That's like acquiring 3 lakh customers a day. Look at Twitter, 500 million people tweeting, 300 million tweets a day. LinkedIn, they say they're adding 2 LinkedIn members every second. So what's very clear is the numbers clearly are growing and amazingly large traction. And even the quality or the amount of time people are spending on social media is growing. So customers are getting rewarded as a key stakeholder. The youngest billionaire was created by Facebook. If you look at Twitter or LinkedIn, all the founders have amassed close to $500 million to $1 billion in less than 10 years. All these companies are less than 10 years. Look at Axel, they invested about $10 to $12 million in Facebook in 2005. They're probably sitting on 10% of $50 billion plus market cap. 10 million to 5 billion in 8 years, you do the math. Do you know how many employees are there in Twitter? 400 employees. They are tracking close to about $500 million in revenues, and that's like 1.25 million per employee. Facebook is tracking about 1.65 million revenues per employee, which compares, I feel Infosys is a good business. They do about 50,000 USD per employee per annum. You measure a business on any parameters like revenue, value creation in unit time per employee, sustainability, scale, social impact, whatever parameters you take the best of breed from social media, you take the best of breed from any other business, social media will come out on top. I came across a very interesting thing. The most important, the thing people did most on the internet was watching porn. And today, what people do most on the internet is social media. I believe it's an amazingly sexy business, and I end my point.
Definition of a good business is a business when you're not in debt, when you are making good money, when you have a good amount of customers every day, and you have loyal employees. On most of these, I think social media businesses would not make the cut in terms of Are you in debt? At this point of time, all social media companies are spending their investors' money. Okay, so it's not debt, it's equity, but it's a different form of debt. Are they making good money for the amount of money that these people have put in? And if they're not running their operations by money that is being generated, then all of us know what exactly it stands for. Do they have customers every day? From whatever I've heard, at this point of time, all social media are very good Section 25 companies, because most of the examples that were cited in terms of blood donation, etc., makes a good NGO. But the discussion that we are having is, does it make a good business? And finally, do we have loyal employees? I think yes, social media companies do have loyal employees because they're waiting for the next investor sucker to buy out the earlier one and move out along with them. So at this point of time, probably on the fourth count, it probably does work. History has shown that technology-based businesses with dominant market shares and apparently bulletproof business models will eventually be replaced by younger, more innovative versions of themselves. And that's what happened to an Orkut, and that's what happened to a MySpace, and that's what will soon happen to a Facebook and a Twitter. The only reason it may not happen is the definition says that apparently bulletproof business model, which none of these have. So if they're going to survive, it's only because they don't have a business model. In which case, the business model will be more and more investors replacing the earlier ones, hoping that there will be, a gold mine at the end. So pretty much like the gold rush happened in California and no gold was found. A lot of social media happening from the same part of the world where probably no gold would be found. A lot of advertising and revenue on social media comes from the data that they have. And we know that in the next few years, data privacy is going to become more and more relevant, and people are going to be sharing less and less of their private data. And as that happens, this targeting of advertising of Facebook and Twitter audiences is going to become much and much lesser. So data privacy has been, given the short shrift till now, but that's not going to happen, especially with the Snowden and other things raising the issue a lot more. And finally, whatever little revenues that do come to social media, I think enough research has said that advertising is still most relevant and most credible in print media and in preferred television programs, and is seen as a bother and a nuisance in the internet and in digital spaces. So it is a passing fad, and with currently advertising being the only real relevant model for social media, which itself is not sufficient for the current, and with a declining trend to be seen in the future, we don't see social media being able to make money.
Social is about people, and social media has actually changed the face of media, as my worthy opponents see it, to being people are the media. And good is what good you get with social media and how it actually makes business sense. Really not just for social media platforms, but how it makes business sense to brands and marketers, how it does good for society, like my partner said, and more importantly, how social media is a good business for you and for me in our personal capacity. Social media provides access to brands to their competitors' customers. If you listen smartly, you know what your competitors' customers are saying, whether they are happy, whether they are on the fence, or whether they are actually looking for an option. You can jump in and actually create business opportunity for yourself. It also widens the reach for brands through social media, not just because of the 900 million, but it actually, look at ndtv.com. When you read an article on ndtv.com, if you sign in with Facebook, all your friends on Facebook know you're reading that article. That is the width, that is the power of social media. It allows cross-platform integration. You can read tweets on Facebook, you watch videos on Facebook. Which traditional businesses actually integrate, competitive businesses integrate in this manner to reach customers? AAA I debate, this hashtag goes outside the room, and social media helps give this debate reach outside of this room. Social wristbands, have you all heard of them? Any of you all went to the auto show in Delhi? Ford actually gave 6,000 people who came to the stall social wristbands. They could share what their experience was with their networks outside.
Social media is still living in a bubble, is still living in that investment banking bubble. Every time when you see that when like every rupee that goes into that business, 1 rupee isn't coming out of that business, then that is when you know that people are trying to inflate a dream, inflate a vision, inflate a story. At the end of the day, we all know that brands are myths and stories, but not businesses. There is a difference between value and valuation. The big problem of social media is they're still living in the world of valuation and not in the world of value. Social media somewhere has to understand that, like it's a fantastic way for people to connect to each other. They have to find a way to monetize it. So far, if the only way, what the opponent mistook because he never worked in this field, so I give it to him. I talked about interruption versus engagement. That's an age-old model. If you have ever worked in the advertising business model, you will understand. Social media has created engagement, but the business model is still interruption. So therefore, social media has to find a way to create a business model out of engagement, where money is generated out of engagement and not through interruption. Which means that every time I'm talking to my friends about something which has happened in my life, I don't want to Domino's Pizza ad saying, I got a targeted customer. Two friends talking each other usually has Domino. Give me a break. You have to find a solution which is based in your strength. You cannot live on borrowed, like business model. This business model is borrowed from print and television and age-old cinema.
My worthy opponent keeps talking of advertising being the, interruption and advertising being the only business model of social media. LinkedIn has a very healthy subscriber income, number one. Number two, it actually has recruitment services as a very, very robust model. I know brands who spend 10x on the recruiter side of it to access the profiles than on advertising. So that point doesn't really hold. There is a maturity curve of every business. The nervousness my opponents have on the viability and the longevity is true of every single business. And as it's grown, the weak fall by the wayside and the strong kind of grow. So that's something to keep in mind. The other point is about privacy. Privacy, yes, is a point to consider, but there's a value exchange. Customers are willing to give privacy if they see value. Even your bank, who has your money and has all your information, shares it for marketing purposes. If we see the value, we continue the relationship. You're free to move away. Facebook doesn't say keep staying there.